Hello, it's Jo here from Shalem Health Retreat, and today we've got an amazing little burger that we're going to make. And this is called a Sunburger, aptly named because the main ingredient is sunflower seeds. Now, sunflower seeds are a fantastic nutritional powerhouse. And why do I say that? Well, they're very rich in vitamin E. They help boost our immune system, but just as importantly as our physical health, these are very, very good for our mental health. Why is that? Because they contain a substance called tryptophan. And tryptophan is needed by the body to help make serotonin, which we all know is our happy hormone. It regulates our mood. And, you know, science is now discovering and publishing in the scientific literature that unless a mental health program includes whole food plant-based nutrition as part of the treatment plan, then it's actually deficient, because food that God gave us, these whole food plant-based foods, not only are good for our physical health, but they benefit our mental health tremendously. So I would encourage you to include the humble little sunflower seed in your diet daily, and other foods such as linseed, tofu, walnuts, chia seeds. These are powerhouses when it comes to helping us with our mental health, to maintain our mental health, but also to treat our mental health. We now know, as I said, that mental health plans need to include whole food plants in their diet, in their treatment plan. So we've got 2 cups here of sunflower seeds, which we're just going to pop in the Thermomix. Now, you don't need to have a Thermomix. You can just grind up those seeds with a food processor, or you could just chop them up yourself. We do need them to be fairly ground, though, because that's going to help keep our burger together. The next thing we want to add is 3 tablespoons of rice flour. Now, you don't have to use rice flour. You can use any flour, buckwheat flour, other flours like wholemeal flour. Just make sure it's a whole grain. And again, this is going to help bind our patty together. So if you want a gluten-free option, then the rice flour is the way to go, or buckwheat. We've also got in here a tablespoon of onion powder and a teaspoon of salt, and we're just going to whiz that up with the sunflower seeds just quickly. Now, as I said, you can just put the sunflower seeds in whole if you like. You just might need to use a little bit more flour to get that binding effect. Right, so that's looking nicely ground up there. So I've already gone ahead and pre-cooked the onion. That's just 1 onion that I've diced up, and I've pre-cooked that. That just enhances the flavour. We are going to put these into the oven a bit later, and it just also means that you don't get any, uncooked bits of onion in your burger. So we're going to add sunflower seeds, the flour, onion powder and salt to our onions. And doesn't this look amazing? Beautiful grated carrot. We want 2 large carrots that we've just grated up here. And this is going to give a beautiful flavour, beautiful colour, texture to our burgers. So pop those in like so. Now, the next thing we want to do is we're going to put together our wet mix, if you like. That's our dry mix. This is our wet mix. So we want 1/2 cup of hot water, and then we just want a teaspoon of honey and 1/3 cup of tomato paste. So that honey is just going to take the sharpness of the tomato paste. You could use tin tomatoes. You could use chopped up fresh tomatoes. That would be fine as well. And here are our delicious herbs. We've got paprika, a teaspoon of each of paprika, of coriander and mixed herbs. So yeah, that is going to go in there. Very, very delicious. You could use any herbs you like. Doesn't have to be these ones. Just experiment with the flavours and see what you like. So I'm just going to pop that in there as well and give it a good mix. Now, these burgers are fantastic in wraps. I love them in wraps, sandwiches. You can have them on their own with a delicious salad or steamed veg. So I would definitely include this recipe in your repertoire, because as I said, it's fantastic not only for your physical health, but with those sunflower seeds for your mental health. Now, if you wanted to get even more flavour out of those sunflower seeds, you could roast them in the oven. Just put them in a baking tray, pop them in the oven for about 10 minutes on 180, and that would just enhance the flavour. But you don't have to do that. And it's not going to change the nutritional aspect of it. It's just more of a flavour enhancer. Now, the thing I love about these patties is that they do bind very nicely. And the other good thing about them is that when you put them in the oven, they crunch up beautifully. So the children love them. I'm sure these will become a family favourite. And you can just see how easy they are to make. It really isn't difficult. Plant foods, whole food, plant-based cooking should not be difficult. It's just very easy putting all of these beautiful flavours together and just enjoying it either on your own, as a family, with friends. I'm sure this will become a favourite in your repertoire. All right, so that's mixed up beautifully now. We're just going to pop it on a tray that I've lined with baking paper. Now, here's a little trick to a very, very quick and easy way of putting the patties and getting them nicely uniform. We're just going to use one of these ice cream scoops. And how easy is that to get those patties nicely uniform, nice on the tray? And we're just going to pop them down a little bit like that using a spatula. And I can guarantee you the children will love helping you with this, or the grandchildren, because it's so easy, so much fun, and they love using those ice cream scoops. All right, so I'm just going to show you ones that I've prepared earlier. And don't they look amazing? They just really, as I said, really come up beautifully in the oven. We just want to pop them in the oven for 40 minutes on 180 degrees. And yeah, I can guarantee you that these will become a family favourite. Sunburgers.